it's all about politics. Is this really all about politics, or is it all about keeping our schools safe? Because it is about keeping our schools safe. Then we have to have a much broader discussion than the discussion that's going on right now. How about kids, instead of looking to someone else to solve their problem, do something about maybe taking CPR classes or trying to deal with
Wow.
Welcome back to Hardball. That was former Republican Senator Rick Santorum suggested student activists would be better served by learning CPR than by protecting or protesting gun violence. Actually, you could do both. It's part of the right-wing smear campaign against the student organizers of Saturday's March for Our Lives. Let's bring in the Hardball Roundtable tonight. Adrian Elrod is a former director of strategic communications for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Sophia Nelson is a former House Republican Committee counsel. And Eugene Robinson is a columnist, of course, for the Washington Post and MSNBC contributor. I say it, of course, because everybody watching this show damn well knows it. So I just wonder why I said this about Trump. Let it go. Everybody believes Stormy. Let it go. Say it didn't happen. Let her win her $100,000 back. End the deal. You first. I don't understand why, in this case, you smear the kids who everybody likes.
Right. No, there's no way they should do this from any sort of public relations standpoint, or indeed human standpoint, right? The standpoint of being a human being. They should not.
The girl threw up. She was so emotionally caught up in this thing.
But the kids have struck a nerve at the NRA, and they're sort of stricken with a fear that you don't see very often. It looks like fear. It looks like reaction to fear, like they're going to get somewhere.
Andrea, I didn't have any problem with the Cuban emblem here, as long as it wasn't Castro, and it was the old-time Cuban flag.
Right.
Of course, that's their country of origin, their parents, or whatever heritage. What is wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. Look, here's the bottom line. The train has left the station, and a lot of these guys like Rick Santorum and, frankly, the NRA as an organization are living in the Stone Ages.
Why do you think he thought of CPR?
I don't know. But I think he was trying to somehow play back to a base that is slowly dying off. People want background checks. 90% of Americans want background checks, stronger, and 80% of Americans want stronger gun laws.
I thought he was thinking of running again in Pennsylvania, because that's the only place I know where they really are tough on this kind of stuff.
You know, Chris, as the Republican sitting up here, lifelong.
Be Republican.
Yeah. Well, I want to be Republican in this one way. First of all, Rick Santorum used to be a rising star, as you know.
I thought he was
a rising
great
star
in terms of his ability.
But ever since
oratory
he lost,
was great.
Right.
Not great politically, but his oratory was great.
Yes, when he lost his Senate race, he's just kind of been rambling around trying to find his way. That clip of him shows the current state of the Republican Party. I've been saying this for 20 years, that this day would come where there was this complete disconnect, where the country was one place and the old men of the GOP, that's why I call him.
Not that old.
Well, he is, though he's out of touch with these young people who have stood up and put this democracy to the test.
I think he's never gotten over his debate with Bob Casey.
I don't think he's ever gotten over his loss.
Reduced the size of that ring so much that he couldn't show off his speaking ability, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to give an oration, and Bobby cut him down to 30 seconds every time, wouldn't let him talk.
But Chris, seriously, the GOP cannot continue down this path.
Okay, let's talk politics. Let's talk politics. You're a senator from Pennsylvania. You're Pat Toomey. You're Bobby Casey. You're in a state that's very culturally, as you say, old guy. How do you deal with this? Do you go back home and say, okay, I'll do background checks up to, we won't do gun shows, we'll work it around the edges? When are they going to get serious about the fact there are too many semi-automatic rifles out there?
All the polling data shows across the board, all of it, that the vast majority of Americans want some form of gun control, background checks, age limits raised, the gun stocks. It's there.
Okay, one thing I liked about Saturday, besides everything else I liked, the inner city thing. They married.
Yes, right.
Gene?
Right. No, that was smart, because that's life today, right? I mean, school shootings in white suburbs is not the only kind of gun violence we have. There's
5,000 dead kids in their teenage years in Chicago since 26.
Exactly. What all those shootings have in common is that they are shootings with guns, and the guns are finding their way into the hands of often kids. And so what's that about?
16,000 go to the emergency rooms in Chicago since 12 years ago.
Yeah.
The numbers are that kid that brought those numbers. I will never forget those numbers.
But why aren't we talking about that?
I just
why did you take this? You did.
Okay, give me a break. Try.
Did I do bad, Chris?
Up next, they're going to tell me something I don't know. Somebody just did. Sophia, thank you. You're watching Hardball. All right.